Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the closing playbook for Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. Ron, you asked, so you shall receive. I have a beta version of a closing playbook theme song for all you to hear. So let me know what you think of this. Oh, that is actually the wrong one. Hold on. Doing well.
Tick tock, the bell's gonna ring. Marcus dance, it's a wild, wild swing. Grenade with the final call. Chasing dreams before the curtain falls. Options rise, options fall. Risk it big and not at all. Closing playbook, flip the page. Endless numbers set the stage. Gains and losses side by side. Ride away the wave, don't fight the tide. Closing playbook, time to play. Grab your chance, seize the day.
Kind of cuts off abruptly at the end there, but that's what we're working on at the moment.
Wow, that I can't think of a more important project than that, Dave. That is that is the most critical thing that we could possibly be working on. So I'm glad that all hands are on deck for that.
You weren't here Thursday and Friday. We did several polls. We asked people, would they prefer a new trade strategy? Would they prefer free dollars to spend with our company, or would they prefer a closing playbook theme song? And 92% of the people said a closing playbook theme song was preferable to the other two things. So that's what I worked on.
That's perfect. By the way, I noticed you're asking, you shall receive. So now we even have Dave quoting Bible verses. Spent enough time around me and Graham. Even Dave is quoting Bible verses on closing playbook. So everything is coming together, songs and the like. Yeah. How's everyone doing? I mean, what a wild day in the stock market. Obviously when I said, hey, I think we're still in a buy the dip environment until proven otherwise, I didn't literally mean today would end up positive, but here we are. Incredible move in the market. Just to give you a few numbers to chew on, XLK, which technology, was down 2.5% overnight and is working on break even right now, trying to gain the entire 2.5% flush right now as we speak. We had financials that were down over 1% that are now up 1.5% right now. Energy was down 1.6% positive on the day. We had discretionary down 1.6% positive on the day, and the list goes on and on and on. On top of that, one of my favorite moves of the day is on the Bitcoin miners, because those are just unbelievable. Bitcoin is down 2% on the day. Mara is up 13%, Dave. Bitcoin, let me repeat that. Bitcoin is down 2%. Mara is up 13% on the day. CLSK, which Graham is now up over 1,000% on, is up 12.5% on the day. And so if you guys needed any other reminders of the kind of melt up wild conditions that we're in right now, I don't really know what else to give you beyond Bitcoin being down and Mara continuing to squeeze up 13.5%. But if that's not enough, I will give you one more. Actually, I won't give it to you. Let me bring Alex on and let him give it to you, because it's not just looking at hindsight and saying, hey, look, Mara's up 13%. Did anyone take the trade that Alex gave us yesterday? Give me a yes in the chat if you guys were here in yesterday's closing playbook. Give me a heck yes if you were here and you actually took Alex's trade. Because I'll be honest with you, Alex, one of my very first thoughts when I checked the market overnight and I saw down as bad as we were, one of my first thoughts was, oh, geez, anyone who did speculative plays overnight, they're absolutely cooked. But that was not the case. So why don't you share what you saw yesterday, give people a recap of the trade you gave, and a little bit of how that all worked out, because it's and key reminder here, it worked out when the markets were still red, not like everything is working out, today at 3:35 p.m.
Oh yeah, we're talking about pins, right?
Oh, I am definitely talking about pins.
All right. Let me pull over my old Telegram here. So yesterday, well, on Closing Playbook and in my Telegram, we saw. I love scanning. Don't we all love scanning? Who doesn't love scanning here? I love scanning. So on this scanner here, look at this. These showed up late day flows, right? Right around now, yesterday on Pinterest. And I told everyone, what they could trade in the Closing Playbook yesterday. I also sent out to my Telegram for free, which I don't know if you're on that or not, but if you aren't, we did 4 free trades today, close out 233% worth of positions. Gains were 233% gains.
You're making me feel very, very vindicated by telling everyone to join your Telegram the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm getting, dude, the testimonials. I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm saying people, what's cool about this is like, I get these testimonials from other people who are having some amazing winners with this. So I'm bragging for them who are in the Telegram channel, because it's awesome to hear all of these stories.
Well, how it goes. Sometimes you're on a hot streak, like traders on a hot streak, they're doing something cool, and you're like, oh, you guys got to check this out. You got to check this out. And just like inevitably, like the curse of what we do is like people join the Telegram and then they take their first 3 losers in a row. And it's like, but it's been very good that we sent them all over and you've continued the hot streak over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, we've, I'm very fortunate to been able to deliver some of these wins to people. And so that Pinterest thing that we took yesterday, the trade, right? Look at this, 9:30, boop, boop, boop. I got out at 110% winner, I think by 10. But if you actually held it, I think you would have gotten a 200% winner. We have people who made a couple grand just overnight on this Pinterest trade. So, and then again, we closed out, and I look at these flows all day. I send out these free alerts to my Telegram. And some of them are overnight. Some of them are trading, intraday. But today, look, so 109% on pins, 2% on HUN. Hey, I'll take a winner when I get it.
We'll take the 2%ers.
Yeah. 88% though on a copper company, ERO, we got today. Opened it this morning, closed it out this afternoon. And another 14% 100 on Seals Q, which is like a semiconductor company that I bet nobody's ever heard of. But my scanner picked up on it. So, yeah, folks, we can drop. I think Dave just dropped that Telegram link there. But what's going to be happening actually is I'm going to be sending out these trades to Telegram for free for the rest of the week. But on Sunday, I'm actually flying down to Jacksonville. I'm going to be eating cookies in Graham's house come Sunday evening, and we're going to actually show you all this scanner I've been working on. That I've been using, and actually, I was talking to Nate yesterday, and then this morning we actually got something really, really cool for y'all. I know I've been sending out free trades to my Telegram, but the free, I'm going to leave a little hint, a little surprise, a little illusion, right? The free is not going to end. Only though if you show up at 7 p.m. this Sunday. All right, you're going to be able to get something for free.
Yeah, but the free will eventually end. We one way or the other. I'm not letting Alex do this forever, but there is a way, and we got an overwhelming response. Now you guys know I went out on a limb and let people do the income machine for free for a while. It's the only time we've ever done that in the history of our company. But we talked about potentially opening that door again. I don't want to give you too many details, but we talked about it. And if you show up on Sunday, it's just so cool because you're going to see some of the behind the scenes. You're actually also going to learn why we are extending the free pass or at least considering extending the free pass for a while. I don't want to get too over my skis on the promises, there for Sunday, but it will all make sense. So do we have the direct link that they can just sign up for Sunday? Because I don't want anyone to miss that. This is one of those things where
I got it right here. I was just going to ask you when I found it. Yeah.
Okay.
The free ride summit, right?
Yeah. So this is one of those things. By the way, that name, it gives you a little bit of a hint of what's going to be going on Sunday. It's so cool. I'm not going to blow it, but it's really cool. This is one of those things where we assume Alex is going to be talking about this for weeks and weeks, because it's been months and months in the working. So we assume he's going to be talking about it weeks and weeks, and you'll have all of October to check it out. But depending on the response Sunday, that is not guaranteed. I don't want to give you fake, what do they call that? Fake scarcity. I don't want to give you fake scarcity. We assume that, this is a main kind of flagship thing that Alex is working on. But because we're doing this free idea, it's one of those situations where we can't guarantee beyond Sunday how long that free pass will be available. So I would highly encourage you to try to be there Sunday, if at all possible, and just make sure that you don't miss out, because we're not talking about, hey, check it out and pull out your wallet and all of that. We're talking about the opportunity, very likely to extend your access for free beyond the Telegram. And actually, I'll just go ahead and tell you, beyond what you're getting for free in Telegram right now, it's going to be even better than that. So, all right, I'll shut up now. That's all the freebie insight I'm going to give you into that for right now.
Yeah. Well, we sign up for that page though, and you'll be getting updates about it ahead of this event on Sunday. But just go ahead and mark it on your calendar, 7 p.m.
Yep, Sunday. Absolutely. Okay. With that being the case, I will quit. I'll quit going down that rabbit trail for a moment here. The next thing on my list is just a quick recap, guys, of what we have open here on my side. Graham has a couple other things. I'm not exactly sure everything that he has open, although if you're Opening Playbook VIP member, you can go to the list and you'll see all of those. But we have that IWM trade, guys. That is still open for me. We're getting a little bit of a shakeout right now, but IWM still in pretty phenomenal shape there. It was up 2% or 1.8% just a minute. So we're getting a little bit of news right now. Things are pulling back somewhat. But IWM still, over 1.5% on the day. So that trade is still open. That's the 247, 248 position. So we were actually already over our line in the sand there in one day. Sounds like Trump is talking and doing lots of fun stuff to the markets right now. So I'm sure that'll continue to shake out for the next little bit. I should have put on my two-way trade that I did yesterday. Trump would help me out there. Maybe I'll still do that. But that is open. My VIX position is still open. VIX obviously popping right now. Again, thank you, Donald. But I still love that position for next week. We are already all the way below 19 for a while, popping back open. And then I have the AGQ position as well. So all those are open. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is on the SPX. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a speculative, what should I call this? A test drive down a speculative idea on SPX. So this is a trade if you don't mind lighting your money on fire for the next 15 minutes. If you are concerned about lighting money on fire, don't take this trade because the markets are kind of getting wild right now. And, and you want to be very careful with anything speculative. But here is the idea. Let me pull up my screen and kind of show you the idea that we talked about. A couple different ideas yesterday, and we're still exploring. But one that looks quite interesting is if you take something like the SPX or the NDX, which actually might be even more advantageous for premiums, but not as good for volume. What you can do is you can go into a trade with only about 15 minutes left in the market, like we have right now, and still give yourself a pretty nice premium with some buffer here. So the idea was actually to give it like over 0.5%. So that's like a 30 plus point drop in the market. So to do that, you would probably have to get into like the 65.95, 6,600 here, which the prices are going a little bit wild. But you'd want to get in for like 450 or lower on this trade, because the idea here would be, can you make 15-20% in 15 minutes? And that's really the question of this trade. Now, again, when the market's bouncing like it is right now, I mean, we're getting the market continuing right now down 0.3% after being up 0.3% 10 minutes ago. So we're getting a little bit of wackiness right now. It won't usually be quite this wild, but it does tend to be pretty wild in the last 30 minutes. And so what we're trying to mess around with here, and if you guys were in Closing Playbook yesterday, this will make more sense to you. But the fact that there's so much fluctuation in the last 30 minutes as trades move to either side of the expiration, you're talking about literally a 0.1% move, moving us from what could be a 0% return to a 100% return if you're on that line in the sand. Well, what we're doing right now is we're saying, well, what if we kind of forget about flipping from 66.40 to 66.50, where you could go from 0% to 100%. What if we just try to take advantage of a little bit of the premium that's available in the last 15 minutes of the market? And so to do that, you could take a trade like this one, which is 30 points below. That's about 0.5% in just 15 minutes, and see if you can pay out. So this trade would be the buy to open 65.95 SPX call. This is 0 DTE, by the way. So this is literally today's expiration. Sell to open the 6,600 SPX call. Now you have to use a limit order because the market's crazy right now. So limit order and see if we can get filled for 450. Now I don't even know if we're gonna get filled. I'm just gonna try one contract, and I like practicing this stuff with you guys in real time just to see. What you'll see here is we can make about $50, right? So we're gonna make like 10 to 12% on a trade like this with the last 14 minutes of the market if it were to fill. Now make sure again you're using a limit order. I'm not sure if it will fill on this trade. Oh look, it got canceled already because I guess oh no, sorry, that's my you guys don't even want to know what that is. That is crazy. That's a different trade. I'm gonna tell you guys about that a different time. What's happening right now in my account, by the way, is maybe the coolest thing I've ever done. Dave, do you see those little orders that are popping up right there?
Yeah.
That I totally forgot were going to be happening because it happens to be 3:46 p.m. That is my Python bot that I built that is automatically entering and crawling the price for my new daily entry on my stacking system. That I don't know, maybe like a month ago, I showed you guys my little Python bot that was working. Yeah. And now it is, you can see it's giving away.
So it's canceling and replacing with like a penny at a time?
Yeah, well, it's SPX, so it's 5 pennies at a time. But yeah, that's the idea. Yeah. So if I actually went over to my account, you could see it in real time. I'll exit the thing, but you could see this is the working order that it's putting in real time.
Yeah.
At 6:05, 8 contracts right now. And if you just watch it, hands off, guys, I'm not doing anything, I promise. That 6:05 limit is going to go away and be replaced automatically there with a 6:10 limit. Everyone see that? It's small there, but you should be able to see it. And so that is happening through Schwab's API without me doing anything stacking. You can see how many I already have stacked up because that's the whole strategy. If you guys know my stacking strategy, that will make more sense. There's the next one, it's still crawling up. Now I start well below price because I figure, hey, if I can kind of cheat and get filled at a lower price, but usually it goes right up to around the mid price, and after 7-8 times crawling that price up, it'll fill. There's the 620. So anyway, that definitely not what I was planning on showing you today, but I just, since those orders were popping up in real time, I figured I would go ahead and show you what's happening there. So that is going to be crazy when that's set up. And by the way, I have a dashboard now that I'm building that tracks all the positions and prunes the oldest trades in real time and all kinds of crazy stuff. But
that's awesome.
This is the real trade that we're talking about right now. This is the one I just gave you, 65.95, 6,600, and you can see my limits for 450. The mark, which is kind of like their best estimation for the mid price, is bouncing all over the price. This is not a trade that we're going to chase, right? Because we're already at the limit. Like we're already only going to make 10 to 12% potential on this trade. All we want to do is sit that order there. And if it gets filled, then great. Now, the really cool thing about this, if we can figure it out. Now, whether we can figure it out, I don't know. We're going to have to see and wait. This is literally the first time I've messed around with this in real time. I ran a couple kind of back tests around the idea. But the really fun thing about this trade is that it could be a 10-minute trade without being a day trade. Because if we get filled today and then we let it expire, which is the idea. That's, by the way, that's why we're using SPX, not SPY or anything else, because we want to make sure there's no exercise risk. If we get filled on this and then we let it expire, because it's not settling today, technically speaking, it's actually not a day trade. So it would be like a 10-minute trade that's not a day trade, which is kind of one of the cool sneaky benefits if it were to work. Let me see where we're at actually on the SPX right now. Let me just go to a 5-minute here. We're bouncing a little bit, so we're maybe 40 points out of it here. Maybe we can just flip this guy up. I'll go up to 66.05 on this. And we can try for $9 instead of the 450 here. But I'm guessing we're not going to get filled. One of the big questions about this strategy is just, will you get the fills? The back test will give you like a perfect fill. It'll give you almost like a paper money fill. But in real practice, how many fills will you actually get? It was really interesting to see that the out of the money trades seem to get filled really well. Like let me give you an example. So here, let me go to the chart real quick here. We're at 66.35. Okay, by the way, that's my automated system that just filled, not this trade. But let's go out of the money here. Couple bucks. By the way, it just automatically set my target for me by doing the calculations. So crazy. Anyway, let's do this one. This would be 66.37. This would be like $3 out of the money. And so this should be about a $2. This should be about actually more like a $2.60. And I'll just show you, typically we see the out of the money trades get filled better. Now this is bouncing, so I'm already in the money, so that's not going to be a great example. See, what it is a good example of is how fast things move. This is my whole point. This trade in the last 3 minutes went from a 0% trade, as in if it closed at that price, it would have been worth 0, to now it would be worth $5, literally in that quick. Let me go back here and see if I can do it. Boom. Okay. So what I just did is I just got filled for $5 higher, 66.40, 66.45, which is $4 out of the money. Notice that one filled instantly. And that's what I'm seeing so far, is that the out of the money stuff on the SPX with 10 minutes left in the day seems to fill quite well. The in the money seems to fill not so fast. So just as an example, I just did 66.45, which is where, listen, if we get $4 here, which is less than 0.1% in the last 8 minutes, that trade will be worth over 100% ROI. But the in the money trade, trying to collect some of that premium, doesn't seem to fill quite as well. So this is an experiment that will keep you guys in the loop. I'll try to do some of these on the closing playbook and see if we can gather some of that premium. But that's one of the ones that I think is really interesting. Basically, the idea of, because the market knows that even though there's no time left on this trade, that the fluctuation is fairly high in the last 15, 20 minutes of the market, can we take advantage of that by just collecting a little bit of that premium and still have essentially zero risk of exercise and zero risk of day trading, because we're just going to let it expire. So anyway, fun little experiment there. Let me give you one more that I still like. We talked about this one. Some of you guys might already have this one. This is Meta. So Meta, let me go to the daily chart here, has built this floor that we talked about right above $700. Okay, so we built this floor right above $700. Now let's see the earnings here. Whoa, not that. Let's get rid of that. There we go. The earnings here on Meta. Why won't it pop up? There we go. Come on. There we go. The earnings here are 1029. Wow, that was painful. The earnings are 1029 on Meta. So one of the trades that I think is kind of fun here on if you go over to Meta and we go just to the closest expiration to earnings, which is going to be October 24th, and we say, hey, I think Meta is going to stay above $700 between now and then. Well, that trade actually pays out a lot more than you think. You would think that trade would pay out, 20% or 15%, but you can actually get some pretty good bang for your buck there on a Meta trade just to hold its line in the sand here above this $700 level before earnings. So you're not taking on the earnings risk for this one. You're doing it before earnings. So let me give you that one. That would be the buy to open 697.50 Meta. And by the way, that's October 24th. And then that would be the sell to open $700 Meta call. Also, of course, October 24th. And so this one is one that I quite like. I think it puts you in a pretty high probability position. And if you can get in for like less than $1.70, which it looks like you can, get in maybe even for $1.55. Let's see. Let's try for $1.55. Let's see if we can get in for $1.55 here. You're going to have, over 60% ROI. Oh, and it filled instantly. At $1.55. I should have paid less than that. So I think this is a pretty darn good setup here on Meta to hold the line here. Again, especially because, yes, we're starting to get some volatility. We're starting to get a little chaos in the market. We could easily see it flush down to 690, but I think the odds are it would bounce back up in that situation just because we are in such an aggressive buy the dip environment and Meta's been lagging behind. So that's one that I like. Again, I think a pretty high probability trade when you're talking about, 60%. I'm saying 60%. I'll do the math for you for real here. Let's be responsible and do real math, Dave, and not trust Nathan's mental math because we all know that that's not a reliable source.
Where's the math that was wrong?
I said I just did it. I did mental math, and I don't actually have any idea if my 60% number is correct. So I will. I'll do the responsible thing here.
You talking about the $1.55 on the 250?
Yes.
So you're going to make 66%, right?
Oh, I was going to do it the nice and slow and steady.
Go do that though. Go do that.
Here you go.
This is why we have medium risk compared to the other one.
This is why we have the calculator. This is medium, relatively high probability. We're not talking about 80% probability, but fairly high probability. Our entry price here was 155. So there you go. Hold till expiration. Wow, I was close. 61%.
Yeah.
Mental math wasn't that far off, Dave.
I know.
And then if you wanted to put a target on it, you could still make 25% with a 194 target, which I actually don't think is a bad idea there. That's one that could get there ahead of schedule pretty easily. One nice pop in Meta, and you could get a 25% with a 194 target if you like that one. So that's that's pretty nice ROI for what I think is a pretty steady trade there on Meta. Wow, can still ripping. This is one that Graham mentioned earlier on opening playbook. It is up 19.4% on the day. Wow. Can up 19.4%, folks. That is running away. I
actually couldn't get in it.
That was, I bought some shares, but I didn't get nearly as good of a price as Graham did, and I certainly didn't get as good of a price as Dave did, which I'm very jealous of Dave. But But there you go. Can up. Oh, and look at this. Hold on. Look at this, guys. We have our trade here. Sorry, I'm very slow sharing my screen right now because I'm moving between things. All right, let me show you this. Here is that SPX trade. Now, this is a perfect example of what I was talking about. We are right near the line of sand. Do you guys see how this trade is going from 60%, 70% to over 100%, now 113%? This is what I'm talking about. Because the SPX is a high-priced instrument, but it has tight strikes, okay? That combination, high-priced but tight strikes, means that you can fluctuate so easily on either side of the line in the sand. That's unique to these indexes. Okay. Now, if you're new to options, that might make no sense to you. You might be like, what the heck are you talking about? Once you understand that a high price instrument with low strikes, with tight strikes, has the ability to flip on either side, you kind of realize there's a percentage change capability there, pretty much unlike anywhere else in the market. And so what I'm really interested in, is there a way to take advantage of that? Let's see. What did SPX finish at? 66,438. So 60 cents or 0.01001% away from a full profit. But hey, still got a 60.7% ROI in 10 minutes. I'll take it. But this was 60 cents away from getting up to 130% ROI or whatever that max ROI actually was for what I paid. So really interesting component there that I think is worth exploring, and that's what I'm fascinated by. You don't have that opportunity with high-priced assets that have really tight strikes that you can take advantage of in really anything else other than like the NDX or the SPX. And so you can see something literally flip from a 0% to 100% with a 1 minute candle like it's nothing. And if you can figure out how to get on the right side of that, I just think that could be a really cool opportunity that I'm not sure anyone else is thinking about quite in that context. So anyway, I think that's all I have. Dave, are we going to give people another chance at Income Machine, or do we have something else on the radar?
No, I mean, it seems to be good now. So that was the plan.
Okay.
Got a little, we had some technical difficulties earlier, but it seems to be good now.
All right, cool. Well, this is, if you guys missed my spiel earlier, I held a little 1 p.m. to show you a 10K trade that I put on the Income Machine. Dan, no, SPX settles at 4 p.m. for the 0 day, even though you can trade the follow-up days for up till 4:15. So you can trade like tomorrow's expiration through 4:15, but the trade that I took for today is settled based on the 4 p.m. price. So a little bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? A assumption that people have about the current day, that make sure you understand it is based on the 4 p.m. Two different things happening there at the same time. But anyway, my spiel earlier today was about the Income Machine. I think as we're getting some volatility here in the market, a lot of people are going to trade it directionally, myself included. They're going to try to jump on these buy the dips, myself included. But one of really the unsung ways is, as we get some volatility, take advantage of it with the income style of trading. There's so much opportunity there with the income style of trading that you can take advantage of that I think a lot of people are overlooking. So I would recommend the Income Machine really more favorably than almost anything you can do when we get a little bit of this uncertainty showing up in the market. And so if you guys have not taken advantage of the Income Machine, I mean, it's the biggest no-brainer in the world because you're able to do it for free. So you can try the Income Machine completely for free, use it for a while before you ever decide if it's right for you. And so if you have not done that yet, like I said, can't really think of a bigger no-brainer than checking out the Income Machine. If you want to go ahead and trigger that, Dave, stay tuned. And
now the trades expressed today are based on signals from the Income Machine with the benefit of hindsight. Now, my guest has been able to use this tool with a great deal of success in his own signals. A lot of them he shared with you guys, with a 93% win rate so far on those closed trades and a profit factor of 4.92. Pretty darn good. Now, you guys know there's going to be winners and losers along the way, so don't get too excited about any single position. And every example today is based on a $2,500 starting stake unless otherwise stated. However, The average position is right around $100 to $200, so you don't need to start out big. Now, the stories shared today were from real people who submitted their story for us to showcase. We did not meet with anyone one-on-one or advise their situation, as we are publishers, not financial advisors. Now, each person makes their own decision when it comes to trading, so trade at your own risk. And you can go on to our homepage for more information there. And just to restate this a third time, winners happen, losers happen. Don't go all in on any single trade. We want to give you an edge. And I think this tool is perfectly designed for that. Now, my name is Graham Lindman, and I'm your host for the big reveal of what we're calling the Income Machine. And today, I want to invite you to get your hands on the Income Machine for free. It's all part of a brand new initiative designed to help everyday traders target extra income from the stock market. I'm talking about income opportunity worth $250, $500, or $1,000 each and every week, all based on your own risk appetite and your own investing goals. You see, over the last few weeks, I've been privately meeting with a trading superstar, Nate Tucci, who's quickly becoming one of the most popular traders under the age of 40. Now, after using his aggressive income approach to publicly grow an account from $10,000 to $50,000 in about 4 months' time, and then also quietly generating over $100,000 in his slow and steady income portfolio last year, well, now Nate has set out on a mission unlike anything we've ever done before. It's a mission to solve one problem that no one else in the trading world has. You see, most income methods out there, they box you into a single approach. They're either built for the ultra conservative retiree, or they're designed for the risk hungry investor who's looking to double their money. There's no flexibility, no middle ground, and no way to adjust the opportunity based on your desired approach, or even the ability to shift your risk appetite based on market conditions or other factors. But what if there was an income system that could do more? I'm talking about an income system that could help folks target $250, $500, or even $1,000, depending on what you are most comfortable with. Well, as you'll see today, that's exactly what the Income Machine was programmed to do. It's the first income tool of its kind, designed to help you dial up or dial down how aggressive you want it to be with just a few clicks. And every day it uses a proprietary formula that scans the entire market, identifies the strongest stocks, and then breaks it down into 3 specific trade ideas so that you can choose the route you want to go. The conservative approach, that's for those who want to shoot for consistent wins and limited risk, targeting right around $250 per trade. Then there's a balanced approach for folks wanting to target a little more upside, shooting for around $500 a trade. Or there's also the aggressive approach for those chasing those $1,000 plus payouts with smart, calculated trade setups. Now, regardless of which approach fits you best, you'll get exactly what you need to act with confidence. You'll get the exact stock and options to trade, the exact hold time, the break-even price, the expected income potential, and even the calculated odds of success. No guesswork, no noise, just a direct income signal where you have the power to pick the opportunity that you like the best. So whether you're in retirement, scaling up a side hustle, or just getting serious about finding new ways to help build monthly income, well, the Income Machine lets you pick your path. All you have to do is press go. And today we're going to give you a chance to try it out for free. You won't have to pay a dime, not even a credit card required. That way, by the time this class is over, you'll be able to start using it right away to access the top income opportunities already selected, targeting the next $250, $500, or even $1,000 payout right from your standard brokerage account. So Nate, it's great to have you on again today and show us everything. Walk us through it all.
All right. Well, it's awesome to be here, and I can't wait to give folks who haven't seen this the keys to an all-new, fully automated income machine over the next few minutes. A tool that can allow us to target, like Graham said, $250, $500, $1,000, even more often on an optimized income opportunity every day with just a couple clicks of the mouth. Now, it's all thanks to an underlying market phenomenon that I've been using in my top income strategies, phenomenon that's helped me hit real-time win rates like 77.7% in overnight, 80.5% in two-way options, and then even 100% win rate on my weekend income strategy, all on live published real trades. But now, with the Income Machine, I've programmed something even more powerful all in one place to help us automatically source some of the very best income opportunities each and every week, where you have the power to pick the approach that fits you best. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to meet with you and tell you which one you should or shouldn't do. That's obviously up for you to decide, 100% your decision. But I did the best I could to make this tool as easy as possible for anyone and everyone to use, regardless of your preferred trading style or income goals. So that includes all sorts of people. People like Tim C. from New Jersey, who wrote in that he's still working full time and he enjoys hobbies like golf in his free time. Same here. According to Tim, he would like to supplement his income and scale his investment account before he retires. But Tim told us he doesn't want to just blindly swing for the fences. He wants something that's consistent and reliable with the strongest track record possible. So for anyone out there looking for the most conservative income opportunity, something that Tim might choose, we have you covered with the conservative path. Or how about a lot of folks like Tyler G. from North Carolina? Tyler wrote in telling us that he's a dad who balances a day job with running his own business. And while he might not feel ahead financially yet, he's very motivated. When he's not working, he's spending quality time with the kids, and he's looking to grow an account in a way that doesn't steal the time from his kids. Obviously, something that I can relate to as a dad with a whole bunch of young kids. With that in mind, folks like Tyler might not want to have, the slowest, most conservative approach. They might want something that's more middle ground. So if that's you and you want to shoot for a slightly larger income potential in your trades while still maintaining a high accuracy rate, well, the Income Machine does that too. We have this middle balanced approach baked in to every opportunity. But it doesn't stop there. We've also heard from tons of people like Karen from Tucson, Arizona. Karen says she likes to target the bigger returns and lean into a little more volatility if it means a shot at more money on any given trade. Why? Because she's got a mission. This is what she wrote in, that she wants to replace what didn't work, tap into the high risk-reward opportunities, and hopefully fund the travel dream she's been putting off for years. So if you're someone who wants to go for some of those bigger income opportunities, the biggest ones available, $1,000, $1,200, $1,300, sometimes even more, depending on how juicy that setup is. That's why there's also an aggressive income approach baked in, which dials up the opportunities that give you the most bang for your buck. So what you're going to get on any opportunity using the Income Machine is 3 different approaches for 3 different types of investors. And regardless of who you are or which approach might fit you best, the Income Machine puts you in control. You're going to get to choose which one you want. Then it gives you, this is the cool part, the exact trade criteria to follow along if you like what you see. Now, over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through some of the stories that my students wrote in to tell us. I mean, we have, like I said, hundreds, but we're going to share a couple of them. And we want to show you how powerful this new tool can be for people of all walks of life who have written in. Now, while I do that, I would love for you to start imagining just what you would do with this tool in your hands, using in your life right now, because you'll see firsthand how the Income Machine was specifically designed to help navigate the market for anyone and everyone, regardless of your financial status. So if you fall into that everyone category, yes, I am talking to you right now. And finally, as Graham mentioned, I'll be dropping a link in the chat where you can access the Income Machine today at 0 cost to give it a try. Now, Wall Street wants you to think that making money from the stock market is extremely complicated, it's extremely time consuming, and that you need their help, right? And that you'd have to wait years and years to get a payout of any meaningful investment. But the truth is, it only takes a few minutes and a couple clicks of the mouse to start targeting extra cash from the stock market each and every day. And one of my favorite things, probably my absolute most favorite thing to do in my career, is showing folks how to target income from the stock market week after week. It doesn't matter if you've been trading for 10 plus years like I have, or if you're literally just getting started. And now with the Income Machine, those types of opportunities can be more accessible than ever before. To keep things simple, let's say someone's investing $2,500, just as our basic example for all these trades, and they want to start using the Income Machine. For starters, we saw tons of stories from people like Linda A. from Texas. Linda wrote in that she's a full-time side hustler with a dream to retire her husband earlier than he's expecting so that their kids can spend more time with dad. She doesn't want to gamble. She doesn't want to overcomplicate things. She wants something more stable, something steady, something that works. So let's imagine it's February 10th and someone like Linda pulled up the Income Machine and wanted to set up with the least amount of risk, okay? Well, at the top of the list, you would have seen Visa, okay, ticker V, as an ideal income generating stock for that particular week. Anyone who wanted the safest play of the bunch could have clicked on the conservative approach. And with one click, they would have seen all the trade details automatically populated. The ticker to type in, the exact options to trade, the entry price that they should target there, and even the income potential at expiration. From there, folks could simply place the trade in a standard brokerage account or approved retirement account, and when things worked out, automatically cashed out a few weeks later with $302 sitting in their account. No guesswork, no babysitting the trade. And with about 60 seconds of work, folks like Linda could be $302 closer to making that dream happen. Next up, we have many students. Probably the most popular answer was people like Kendra C. Kendra mentioned that she's a busy working mom in her mid-30s with a young family. She said that she juggles work, school runs, late night dinner duty. My wife is in the same boat. I understand time is tight in that situation. Lately, she's been thinking about building a second income stream, something that could help cover more travel and new experiences with her husband and the kids, and ultimately less stress in her day-to-day life. Now, Kendra doesn't want the wild swing. She doesn't want the highest risk, but she also said that she's not afraid for going for a little more upside than the conservative approach when the odds are in her favor. So if someone like Kendra logged into the income machine and they saw Visa listed at, as the top income opportunity, well, they might have chosen that balanced income approach, kind of the in-between, right? Now, in seconds, they would have seen the full trade layout, the ticker, the options, expiration, expected return, the risk parameters, literally all mapped out right there for them and specifically selected to target a slightly larger payout on the Visa setup. And anyone following along could have opened up the brokerage app during lunch, put that Visa income position on using the pre-built trade that's all spelled out for you, and then gone back to work knowing they just gave pocket a few $100 over the next handful of days. And in this example, by the following Friday, they would have hit an extra $625 in their account. For folks like Kendra, a few more trades like that could be enough to surprise the family with that weekend getaway. Now, of course, not everyone is looking to, target the small steady gains or even the moderate size ones. Some traders want to swing bigger. They're willing to stomach a little more volatility if it means chasing that $1,000 plus payout on a single move. Just as folks like Todd M, who actually sent me an email earlier. He's a soon-to-be retiree from Central Illinois. Now, Todd told us that at 64 years old, he's on the verge of retirement, but he's not planning to slow down. He wants to build out his funds, secure his grandkids' future, and pay off debt, all while trading full-time. I love how many people talked about their grandkids on these stories we got. And for Todd, he said he prefers to go for those larger returns when placing a trade. So if someone like Todd pulled up the income machine on February 10th, same day, they would have also seen Visa, but they might have went with the aggressive income path. And similar to folks like Kendra and Linda, anyone who did go with the aggressive approach on Visa would have had all the trade details mapped out for them automatically, except these specific options would have been tailored for a much larger opportunity, allowing folks to target a little bit more bang for the buck on this same Visa opportunity. So anyone who set up the trade on Visa would have pocketed an extra $1,231 by the end of the week using that more aggressive trade, giving folks like Todd more time with the grandkids fishing, camping, and showing them the better side of life.
Nate, this is awesome. Let me just pause you for a moment here. You just showed us how folks could have pocketed $302, $625, or even $1,231 with a few clicks of the button, again, all generated from the income machine. And honestly, regardless of which outcome folks would have gone with, that could have been a little extra cushion to have in the wallet. Think about this. You guys know this. Since the pandemic, inflation has been out of control. Housing costs have shot through the roof, and the grocery bill somehow seems to have magically doubled over the last few years. Now, there's no real debate here. A lot of people could use some of that extra cash right now. Now, of course, you're not promising overnight riches here. That's not what today's class is about. But that's an extra $300, $600, or $1,200 that could have gone towards maybe paying down the credit card, saving up for the next vacation, or just beefing up the emergency fund. Now, that's great, but if you ask me, here's the best part of it all. Those examples were based on 3 different approaches, based on 3 different types of investors. But as we saw with the income machine, they wouldn't have been boxed in with only one approach that they may not have liked, actually just the opposite. In this case, there was a path for each type to aim for anywhere between $250 to $1,000 by the end of the week, all based on the approach that they wanted to go with and the risk to reward that they liked the best. So Nate, can you tell us a little bit more about how the income machine actually works and what makes this all possible?
Yeah, absolutely. But before I do, I think it's a good time, always a good time to remind you guys that no strategy wins all the time. There's no instant income magic pill, no matter how good of a tool you built. So please understand, we're of course bound to have winning and losing trades too. However, while we can never promise future returns, the income machine has been able to lock in some really handsome payouts week after week. And so far, we have a 93.3% success rate on the trade signals that I've shared with folks in real time, taking real money trades, which means so far we're winning more than 9 out of every 10 real money trades from the income machine. But to be extra clear, what I'm showing you is not some sort of money printer you can run in your basement. Instead, it's a way to help folks gain a legitimate leg up in the stock market and target some of the most repeatable income opportunities out there without needing to be glued to your screen 24/7 to make it happen. And even better, with the way the income machine selects the trades, we don't need to rely on stocks to be in a bull market to hit our full profit potential. For example, let's go back and look at some more real trades. This one from back in March. Now, if you were like most people in March, you probably watched your 401k drop like a rock. Over a 2-month stretch, the S&P slid north of 20% negative into bear market territory. The NASDAQ was down 23%. Even the more quote unquote stable Dow Jones was falling off a cliff in March. Now, again, let's say you had 2,500 invested in March, folks would have lost money in the stock market with that invested. A couple hundred